Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to the videos of the paid request this time for Bronson. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 2000 film How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, I know a lot of people really like the film, and I can understand and appreciate that. This is just one of those films where that was never for me. I do like the Grinch cartoon from back in the day. Fairly short. You got Boris Karloff narrating it. Nice catchy songs. I think it works in that format, but that's as far as went with the Grinch. I never saw the new one, the animated one with Benedict Cumberbatch. I definitely didn't see what was the horror movie that someone did on the Grinch. I just don't know if the Grinch really needed anything else other than that cartoon. I think it worked the first time, and you didn't really. I don't really see any improvement you could do with it, at least for me. Now, one thing I'll say is, it's directed by Ron Howard, who's a capable director. Apollo 13, among many other films. You have Jim Carrey, who he was a box office bonanza even at this point with films like Liar Liar. Of course, before that, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, The Truman Show. And this was a huge hit when it came out. For what I remember, it was a big hit. And I'll give credit to the suit. The makeup effects of the suit looked pretty good. Jim Carrey, he's given it his all, and I think that's why people like it. I can understand that with Jim Carrey's infectious energy as the Grinch, going all out with his mannerisms, his body language, the way he moves the character, his voice. Hello there, how's it going there, I mean, I can enjoy Jim Carrey in big, broad performances. Hell, I love Ace Ventura 1 and 2. You just say that's big, broad, a bit, some would say Dumb and Dumber. Some, the man, I mean, it's not his first rodeo in giving that kind of big, broad performance, but for me, there's a level, kind of like Adam Sandler or other comedians, where there's a level that kind of that you reach that point and then reach a few notches above, not even at 11, but they go to like 12, 13. It just kind of loses me a bit, and as I'm enjoying it, if it goes a little bit higher, my enjoyment kind of goes backwards and flips the other way. Kind of like his performance as the Riddler. I mean, the performance as the Riddler in Batman Forever and this is kind of in that gray area that I can enjoy moments, but at the same time, it's like maybe as I've gotten older, those performances don't really. It's not my preferred Jim Carrey. But the level of energy and the craziest of moments in Liar Liar or in Ace Ventura 1 and 2, maybe just also the dialogue and all sorts of circumstances, I just prefer. Maybe that's also why, like, The Mask, I don't mind, but it's not my favorite of that era. Like Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura 1 and 2. I would say I even like The Cable Guy more. I just one of those things that there's certain ways Jim Carrey will perform that just, okay, dude, take a few steps down. But I'm alone in that a lot of people enjoy it. And like I said, I can understand why. Now, you guys know the story of the Grinch. I don't need to go into the plot. I can appreciate that because the material is fairly short. It was adding elements to make it a full-length movie. I can appreciate, for example, seeing a bit of the childhood of the Grinch, where you see it as a baby, and then you see it as a little kid, and having the makeup effects on. I don't know if they use a little kid or if they use a little person. and then put the makeup on him. I would assume that way, because that way they could handle it better than a little kid with having all that makeup on. So I can appreciate learning a little bit of backstory of the Grinch, how he would be mischievous, but at the same time it would be people and their hostility, their anger, their not racial, but specious. I don't know how else you would put it. Their bigotry against this guy, and how there'd be like one person that would see through that, and that I forget the actress's name, but later on she's connected with the mayor. But you get the idea. She has still a couple bit of feelings for the Grinch, which comes out at the very end of the movie. So I can appreciate those elements being added in, so it didn't feel like just a straight up carbon copy of the original. But of course, there's a lot of elements that are going to be based on the original. You don't see replicated. The stealing of the presents, the Who, well, not the band, the Who, Cindy Lou Who, and everybody, like the whole place, the whole group of townies, even though they have nothing, they still celebrating. They're still singing Christmas, and the Grinch looking over, and he's confused, and his heart gets bigger. Saving the sleigh of presents, him lifting up, the heart growing big. Even the very end where he's cutting up the food and giving to the people. You don't have those elements in there, which makes sense. And watch this again. I would not say I hate the film. I wouldn't. I mean, there's way worse Jim Carrey movies. Dumb and Dumber 2, I would definitely put as way worse. I'm trying to think now of his films. Okay, he had a small appearance in Kick-Ass 2, but I would put that below this, the movie itself. I like Jim Carrey in it, but it's a small role, and the film Kick-Ass 2 I'm not a fan of. I would put that below this. There's a few others. The number 23, I would put below this. I'd appreciate the art design, the look of where this takes place. Like one of the characters has a machine gun that sets up the light bulbs, so they fire and all the light bulbs go up, and a lot of it's done practically. There are times that Jim, even though his performance is supposed to be over the top, and sometimes it's a little bit irritating to me, there are moments of humor that I did enjoy, whether it be him arguing with his own echo. You're an idiot, and the echo go. No, he says he knows it's an echo, so I'm an idiot. He's waiting for it to reply, but instead the echo goes, you're an idiot. Or, for example, when the girl is saying nice things, and he's going, nice kid. Bad judge of character. I guess once in a while there's a little bit of that Ace Ventura bit in there. That's probably the ones I enjoy more. I gotta say though, not Cindy Lou Who, but her parents, a lot of the townies, they look really creepy group of fugly townies, man. They look creepy as fuck. I'm like, the Grinch looks better than the fucking townies. And it's strange how some of them look more normal than others. Well, I didn't notice much on Cindy Lou Who and her face. Same with the one girl who's married or not married, but is with the mayor, where she also has a crush on the Grinch. She was different. She seemed more normal looking. Same with Cindy Lou Who. I don't know why that was the case, where certain members of the town look different. I don't know if they ever really explained that, or I guess you're just not supposed to care. That, or their makeup was a lot more subtle, and I just didn't notice, compared to others that are much more prominent. And the Who's the Italian, they're dickheads too. Now there's a point that the Grinch tries to go down. Oh, they give me an award, huh? And the mayor is a dickhead and gives him a razor, which is what they humiliated him when he was a kid because he tried to shave and he cut himself. And oh, look at the guy. So they give him a razor. I don't know what they expected. Like, what do you expect? So of course he goes on a tear. I'm like, what the fuck did you expect, you little dickheads, assholes? Take a flamethrower to the whole fucking town. Thus, he takes a mystical pucker up and kiss this, and he puts it on his ass. People go, oh my god. The girl who plays Cindy Lou Who, she worked well for what she was supposed to do. So you see why she would be the one that would kind of be the start of warming up the Grinch's heart. I don't know what else she has done after this. And like I said, there's some nice sets and designs, the way the vacuum cleaner looks, where all the presents come in and are sucked through. And the fact that Ron Howard wanted to do as much practical as possible, I can appreciate that. Anthony Hopkins as the narrator. It's hard to go wrong with Sir Anthony Hopkins. I mean, he's a great actor. So I'm saying a lot of nice things. So it's not like... I would say I disliked this more, like, even just a few years ago than watching it now. Maybe because I've seen so many shitty movies recently, this went up a bit. But it's just not something I love. Just something about the town of the Who's just being such either non-characters or very one note or just really ugly to look at, just fucking ugly rat faces. There's just an eyesore. The music, just, it's not nearly as prominent, not nearly as memorable for me, the version of these songs compared to the old animated. I just think of the old animated movie and how I just thought that the pacing, the way the character designs were, I know I shouldn't compare, but it's just hard to not compare with that stuff, so. At least for me. But it's one of those things as I watch it, oh, I don't know, man. I'm just not a lot of times it's more Jim Carrey. Okay, do whatever ad lib you have and go crazy. There's a lot of Jim Carrey ad libbing, which it tends to be fun. But here it's like, okay, we done yet? Kind of okay. Whether it be him pretend to be a director and or the times he's talking with his dog Max, him doing the tests, and there's an ode to the crash test dummies, where he slams right into the wall. And even when the Grinch, when he's supposed to be nice and smiling, he's supposed to be nice and smiling. He looks like a creepy pedo, and not Joe Pedo, but like when he's supposed to be nice and smiling, he looks creeper. It's like, oh no, what's he gonna do to that kid? Going Bill Cosby or, but I just for me, like I said, Jim for me has his moments. I can understand why people love the film. Just at times it got a bit much. The mugging. I guess you have the same actor mud in two different movies, and one just seems more appealing to me than the other. I don't know how else to explain it. Easily the star is Jim Carrey and his mannerisms. That's what sells the movie. That's what made the box office. I mean, the set design and the art design and stuff helps, but it's Jim's performance and the way the Grinch looked. That in of itself is better than when Michael Myers did The Cat in the Hat, which that's a garbage movie. That's a horrendous fucking movie. This is Star Wars. This is Terminator 2 compared to fucking Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers. But yeah, just one of those things that, as a, I never go to this film as a preference to see The Grinch. And I've probably seen this 4 times in my life, which is, runs a lot on the holiday circuit, whether it was cable back in the day or so forth. And I'd be like, okay, I've seen it. Don't know if I ever need to see it again. Or I forget about stuff. Oh, I'll see it here. Or, it's a request here, so. Sometimes that happens with movies where it's not that it's a garbage film. It's just like, okay, it is what it is. And you just go along with it. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. With that said, thanks for watching. I know it's not much of a review, but it's the best I could do. Again, not a bad film. So it's a step up from when I last saw it. Again, just compared to other stuff. But it just, like I say, it's one of those Jim Carrey performances that, like, okay, it's supposed to be big, it's supposed to be broad, I get it, but and he is really the centerpiece of it, and sometimes his Grinch voice, mannerism just got on my nerves at times. Not as bad as other people, just like, this other Jim Carrey films I'd rather be watching. Kind of that type of thing. And like I said, with the way he looks, it's hard to buy him as the good Grinch. Just as I said, when he's the good Grinch at the very end, the smiling seems more creepy, pedo. It still seems like he was always supposed to be nice. He's gonna, put a mousetrap on your ass or stick a broomstick up your pee hole or something. So. But I mean, like I say, if you like Jim Carrey, you like Christmas movies, you either have in your collection or you watch it each Christmas, or most people are fans of this, so which is perfectly fine. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.